Have you ever noticed how some people can't stand to see you win? How they act friendly one moment and then quietly shade you the next? Most of the time, it's not about what you did. It's about what you are. Envy is silent. It doesn't announce itself, but it's there. In the backhanded compliments, the cold stares, the sudden distance. And the truth is, some people envy you without even realizing it themselves. In this video, we're diving deep into hidden reasons people secretly envy you. Because understanding this isn't about bitterness, it's about clarity. It's about seeing who really celebrates you and who feels threatened by your growth. By the way, before we begin, let me talk to you about my Patreon community. Most people suffer in silence because they've got no one around them who truly understands what they're going through. That's exactly why I created the Inner Circle, a private space where you can speak openly, share your personal struggles, and get real one-on-one insight from me. Not the shallow, recycled advice you see online, but deep Stoic guidance tailored to what you're actually facing. You can even request personalized video topics, and I'll break them down directly for our members. It's not for everyone. It's for people who are done with fake motivation and ready for real growth. If that's you, the link's in the description and the first pinned comment. 1. Some people envy you because you move differently. You don't blend in with the crowd. You don't shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable. You don't water down your personality just to be accepted. You walk through life with a quiet confidence, a natural, unforced authenticity that most people will never experience within themselves. And that alone is enough to make certain people secretly envy you. Most people live their lives performing for approval, performing for validation, performing for acceptance. They adjust their tone, their opinions, even their personality depending on who's in the room. Their identity is flexible because it isn't truly theirs. They become whatever they think people want them to be because standing firm as themselves feels too risky. But you don't operate like that. You move with your own rhythm, your own timing, your own voice. You have this inner compass that tells you what feels right, what aligns with who you are, and you follow it, even if no one else understands. That type of self-direction is intimidating to people who've never trusted themselves. Some people envy you because your authenticity exposes their artificiality. When they see you expressing yourself freely, it reminds them of how much they've held back. When they see you speak your mind without fear, it reminds them of how often they bite their tongue. When they see you pursue your interests, passions, or dreams, it reminds them of how many times they abandoned theirs. Your realness becomes a mirror, reflecting everything they've neglected in themselves, and instead of fixing their reflection, they resent the mirror. You make people uncomfortable simply by being yourself, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're doing something they can't. While they rely on trends to shape their identity, you create your own vibe. While they chase clout, you chase growth. While they need validation to feel alive, you move with a type of inner certainty that comes from knowing who you are. That independence of identity is rare, and people envy what's rare. They envy the way you walk into a room and hold your energy without trying. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to perform. Your presence is felt because it's real. People who are constantly pretending can't understand that. They can't figure out how someone can be comfortable in their skin without needing attention or applause. Some envy your non-conformity. You don't follow the crowd blindly. You question things. You think for yourself. You make choices based on your own standards, not what society expects. And that scares people who are terrified of standing out. They mock what they fear, and they fear what they don't understand, which is why your individuality becomes a target. Your uniqueness is effortless, and that's what irritates people. They spend so much energy trying to look unique, to curate an identity that makes them seem original. While your originality is just who you are, they can copy your style, your phrases, your ideas, but they can't copy your essence. And envy always grows where imitation fails. Some people envy you because you're not afraid to be different. You don't need the crowd to validate your direction. You don't need a group to tell you what's cool. You don't need society to clap before you move. You trust yourself enough to act first, think deeply, and live with intention. And that level of internal security is rare in a world that rewards conformity. Your authenticity gives you a kind of freedom people secretly crave. The freedom to say what you mean, the freedom to pursue what matters to you, the freedom to express who you truly are, without fear. That freedom is priceless, and people envy anything they cannot buy, borrow, fake, or steal. The truth is simple. People envy you because you are something they wish they had the courage to be themselves. 2. Some people envy your growth, not your money, not your popularity, not your achievements, your growth. The fact that you are not the same person you were a year ago, or even a month ago, is enough to make certain people quietly resent you. Growth is threatening, because every time you level up, you remind people that staying the same is a choice. And most people don't want to admit that. You're evolving, slowly, steadily, intentionally. You're becoming more aware of who you are, what you want, and what you deserve. You're healing wounds you didn't cause. You're breaking patterns that were passed down to you. You're building discipline, learning new things, and stepping into a version of yourself that the old you could only dream about. And the people around you, some of them are still stuck. Same habits, same mindset, same excuses, same fears, same lifestyle that hasn't changed in years. So when they see you growing, it doesn't just inspire them, it confronts them. Your progress exposes their stagnation. Your evolution highlights their comfort zone. Your transformation bothers them because deep down, they know they could be doing more, but instead of fixing their life, they'd rather criticize yours. Some people envy you because you have the courage to grow, while they have the courage only to complain. They envy the small changes you make. They envy the big risks you take. They envy the quiet improvements no one else notices but you. Because even these tiny shifts create distance, the kind of distance you didn't ask for, but they felt anyway. Your growth creates separation, and separation creates envy. Some people liked you better when you were smaller, when you were doubting yourself, when you were stuck in the same patterns they were in, when you didn't know your worth, when you relied on others for validation, when you kept your dreams to yourself instead of going after them, because back then you were relatable. Back then you made them feel comfortable. Back then they didn't feel threatened. But the moment you decided to outgrow your old life, they started to feel left behind. And that feeling, most people don't know how to handle it, so they turn it into envy, shade, distance, or fake support. Some people envy how quickly you learn. You pick up lessons that take others years to understand. You adjust your mindset, your habits, your goals. You reflect instead of repeating mistakes. You grow through what breaks other people. That frustrates those who keep repeating the same cycles and blaming everyone else for it. Others envy how much you've changed and how naturally it seems to happen for you. They think you just got lucky. They think you woke up motivated. They think everything fell into place, but they don't see the late nights, the uncomfortable conversations, the moments of doubt, the discipline, the sacrifices, and the battles you fought in silence. You didn't grow by accident. You grew because you refused to stay where life left you. Some envy your mindset. You think bigger. You think differently. You see possibilities in places where they only see problems. You believe in change, while they believe in excuses. This alone creates resentment. Some envy your healing. They liked you better when you were wounded, because your pain matched theirs. But healing is a lonely journey, not because you want it to be, but because not everyone wants to heal with you. Your emotional growth makes certain people feel exposed, because they're still controlled by triggers you've already overcome. And some envy your ambition and discipline. You set goals and chase them. You outgrow your old habits. You do the hard things people avoid. You stay consistent even on the days you don't feel like it. People who quit easily don't know how to understand someone who refuses to give up. You're not lucky, you're evolving. And evolution always comes with envy. The truth is, people envy your growth because it reminds them of the version of themselves they could have become if they didn't give up. Your life becomes a silent reminder of their wasted potential. Your journey becomes proof that they could have changed too, but didn't, so they envy you. They talk about you, they distance themselves, they downplay your progress. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something right. Growth is lonely, not because you walk away from people, but because people walk away from you when they realize they can no longer stand next to the person you're becoming. 3. People envy your standards. People don't talk about this enough. But having standards is one of the fastest ways to trigger envy, resentment, and insecurity in others. Not because your standards are unrealistic, but because they force people to confront the truth about themselves, what they accept, what they tolerate, and what they've settled for. You don't tolerate disrespect. You don't entertain inconsistent energy. You don't allow people to walk over your boundaries, and you don't cling to anything that threatens your peace, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a habit, or a mindset. That level of self-respect bothers people who haven't built it within themselves. Some people envy you because you say no effortlessly. You don't explain yourself. You don't beg people to understand you. You don't stretch yourself thin just to keep someone in your life. Your no comes from a place of strength, a place most people never develop. They envy how you don't accept the bare minimum. You expect consistency. You expect honesty. You expect effort, real effort, not excuses. You expect people to match what you bring to the table, and people who give bare minimum energy hate being around someone who expects more, because it shines a light on how little they actually give. Your standards expose their complacency. Some people envy you because you don't chase validation. You don't need approval to feel worthy. You don't lower your expectations just to have company. While they adjust who they are to keep people close, you adjust your environment to protect your value. And that independence, that self-worth, it stings people who rely on external validation to feel alive. Others envy the fact that you would rather be alone than accept cheap treatment. They stay in friendships they've outgrown. They stay in relationships that drain them. They stay around people who disrespect them just to avoid loneliness. But you walk away. You choose solitude over chaos. You choose peace over company. You choose standards over desperation. And that choice makes people who settle feel insecure. Some people envy your discipline with yourself. Your standards don't just apply to others, they apply to you too. You hold yourself accountable. You demand growth from yourself. You set goals and actually pursue them. You don't let yourself slide just because something is comfortable. People who lack discipline envy those who enforce structure in their lives, even silently. Your consistency makes their excuses uncomfortable. They envy your emotional maturity. You don't argue over nonsense. You don't entertain drama. You don't allow manipulative people to play their games. You remove yourself from situations that no longer serve you. That composure irritates people who thrive on chaos because it shows them how emotionally unstable they really are. And people especially envy your boundaries. The ones you enforce, the ones you don't let anyone cross, the ones that protect your energy and keep your life peaceful. People who have no boundaries, who allow everyone access, who let anyone drain them, secretly resent people who have the courage to say, "This is not acceptable." Your boundaries remind them of what they should have done for themselves. Some people envy you because you refuse to settle for almost love, almost effort, almost respect, almost honest. You know your worth, and you don't negotiate it. You're not afraid to close doors. You're not afraid to walk away. You're not afraid to lose people who aren't meant to stay. People who cling to unhealthy relationships envy the strength required to release them. Your standards intimidate people who survive off shortcuts, temporary highs, and easy paths. Because you're not interested in easy, you're interested in aligned. You're not interested in convenience. You're interested in what's healthy. You're not interested in popularity. You're interested in what's real. And people envy anything that forces them to question their own comfort zone. Some envy your ability to demand more from life. You want purpose. You want meaning. You want peace. You want depth, not surface-level connections and empty words. People who settle for less feel exposed when they meet someone who refuses to. The truth is simple. People envy your standards because they highlight their lack of standards. You show them what they should have demanded, what they should have walked away from, what they should have expected, but didn't. And rather than elevating themselves, many will envy you for elevating your life. Your standards protect you, but they also reveal the truth about everyone around you. Some will rise to meet them, some will respect them, and others will envy them because deep down, they wish they had the courage to set the same standards for themselves. 4. Some envy the way you think, not your clothes, not your lifestyle, not your achievements, your mind, the way you think. The clarity, the creativity, the depth is something most people can't replicate, no matter how hard they try, and that alone triggers an envy they will never admit out loud. You see the world differently. You don't just look, you observe. You don't just react. You analyze. You don't just accept things at face value. You question them. Your mind moves with a precision and awareness that makes people wonder how you always see things they completely miss. Some people envy how quickly you understand situations. You pick up on patterns, intentions, energy, and motives without needing anyone to explain them. You're intuitive. You're perceptive. You connect dots that others don't even see. People who struggle to understand their own life resent someone who can understand the world and people so effortlessly. Some envy your creativity. The way your ideas flow, the way you solve problems differently, the way you create solutions instead of complaining. You might not think it's special, but someone out there wishes they had the mental flexibility you take for granted. Your mind operates on a level that makes others feel insecure about their own thinking. Some people envy that you can stay calm under pressure because you think before you act. You don't let emotions control your decisions. You don't let fear paralyze you. You don't let chaos shake your logic. People who panic easily hate being around someone who doesn't crumble. Your composure exposes their instability. Some envy your ability to see through people. You can sense dishonesty before it's spoken. You can feel hidden intentions behind polite smiles. You trust your intuition, and it rarely fails you. People who rely on manipulation, lies, or image hate someone who can see straight through their performance. Your intelligence is not just knowledge, it's awareness. It's the ability to understand situations emotionally, logically, and spiritually at the same time. You think deeply, you think differently, you think independently, and nothing triggers envy more than independence of thought. Some people envy your open mind. You're willing to grow, to learn, to change your perspective. You're not trapped inside your ego. You don't cling to outdated beliefs just to feel right. People who fear change envy those who evolve mentally without resistance. Others envy your confidence in your thinking. You trust your ideas. You believe in your vision. You don't need everyone to agree with you to move forward. People who doubt themselves can't stand someone who is internally grounded. Some envy how you're always 3 steps ahead. You plan strategically. You think long-term. You anticipate outcomes before they happen. Your mind protects you from bad choices, bad people, and unnecessary problems. People who act impulsively envy someone who lives intentionally. Some envy your ability to learn quickly. You absorb knowledge. You grow from mistakes. You adapt faster than most people can adjust. Your mind evolves while they repeat the same cycles year after year. They envy how your thoughts create your reality. You think big, so your life expands. You think smart, so your life improves. You think boldly, so opportunities align with you. You're proof that mindset is everything, and that bothers people who refuse to change theirs. Your intelligence highlights their avoidance. Your insights highlight their denial. Your awareness highlights their blind spots. Your clarity highlights their confusion. Your growth highlights their stagnation. You don't even try to make people feel this way. Your existence does it naturally. Some people envy you because you're hard to manipulate. You can't be guilt-tripped. You can't be misled. You can't be tricked into believing something that doesn't make sense. Your mind protects you from becoming someone's puppet. People who depend on mind games despise anyone who is mentally strong. People envy thinkers, not because thinkers are loud, but because thinkers are free. Free from illusions, free from conditioning, free from the mental cages most people willingly live in. And above all, some people envy the way you think because they cannot control someone who thinks for themselves. Your mindset is your superpower, and for many, it's their insecurity. 5. Some envy your ambition. Some people envy you for one simple reason. You want more for your life than they ever believed they could have for themselves. Your ambition alone threatens them. It exposes their lack of drive, their excuses, their comfort in staying exactly where they are. You don't need to brag or shout your plans. The moment people see how focused you are, how you move with intention, how you wake up early, how you talk about goals with clarity, something inside them gets uncomfortable. It's not hatred. It's insecurity dressed as jealousy. Your ambition forces people to confront themselves. For example, when they see you investing in a new skill, While they complain about having no opportunities, it reminds them that they're choosing comfort over progress. When they hear you talking about starting a business, writing a book, or leveling up your career, their first instinct isn't to celebrate you. It's to wonder why they never had the courage to do the same. Your ambition acts like a mirror. It shows people the version of themselves they could have been if they hadn't stopped trying. When you stay late working on your dream, while they spend the evening scrolling, they feel a sting, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your actions highlight their stagnation. Many people don't want to admit this, so instead they label you as obsessed, too driven, trying too hard, or doing too much. But deep down, they wish they had even half of your fire. Look at simple moments in your life. When you say you're skipping a party to work on a project, someone rolls their eyes, not because they don't understand, but because they know they wouldn't do the same. When you wake up early to study, exercise, or plan your day, someone calls you extra, but what they really mean is, "I wish I had that discipline." When you talk about your 5-year plan, someone laughs as if you're dreaming too big, but the truth is, they stopped dreaming years ago. Your ambition reveals who is inspired by you and who is intimidated by you. People envy your ability to chase long-term goals while they can barely maintain short-term habits. They envy your discipline, the way you stick to something, even when it's hard. They envy your consistency, the way you show up even on days you don't feel like it. Some envy you because your ambition has direction. You know where you're going. You're not wandering or waiting for chances. You create them. They see you take risks, applying for opportunities, reaching out to mentors, improving yourself, and all they can think is, "I could never do that." Instead of rising to the challenge, they convince themselves you're just lucky. But luck didn't build you, discipline did. Think about the way people react when you start leveling up. You enroll in a course, and someone says, "Why waste money?" You start hitting the gym consistently, and someone says, "You're doing too much." You start a small business, and someone says, "Most people fail anyway." These aren't logical opinions, they're emotional reactions. They're the words of someone who feels left behind. And here's the deeper truth. Your ambition threatens the version of themselves they've settled for. Your drive makes their excuses feel weaker. Your growth makes their stagnation more visible. Your progress makes their fear louder. So instead of learning from you, they envy you. But you have to understand something important. Your ambition is a gift. Not everyone has it. Not everyone wants to sacrifice comfort for greatness. Not everyone can handle the pressure, the discipline, the self-control, the long nights, the silent battles. And because they don't have that inner fire, they resent the fact that you do. Some people envy your ambition because it reminds them that average was a choice, and they chose it. You didn't. You're willing to grow, evolve, improve, and chase what others are scared to even admit they want. That alone makes some people uncomfortable. Let them envy. Let them misunderstand your hunger. Let them misjudge your intentions, because a person with ambition is unstoppable, and the envy of others is just proof that you're moving in the right direction. Keep going. Your ambition will take you places their fear never will. 6. They envy your love relationship. One of the biggest reasons people silently envy you is because of the way you're loved, or the way someone chooses you, values you, stands by you, or treats you with respect. A healthy relationship is one of the rarest things to find today. And when people see you have what they've spent years hoping for, pretending not to care about, or losing over and over again, envy begins to grow quietly in the background. Some people don't envy your partner, They envy the connection. They envy the comfort you feel around each other. They envy the way you look at each other, like you're chosen, not tolerated. They envy the peace you have when you go home. Because while they're dealing with arguments, ghosting, fake loyalty, unreturned calls, and relationships filled with insecurity, they see you living what feels to them like a different world. For example, you might say something simple like, "My partner made me breakfast today," and someone suddenly goes silent. Not because they don't care, but because they've never had that kind of effort from anyone. Or you talk about your partner supporting your dreams, and someone gives you a strange look. Not because it's strange, but because deep down, they wish someone would support them that way. Your relationship becomes a mirror reflecting what they're missing. People envy the small things, how your partner texts you to check on you, how they defend you when you're not around, how they make you laugh, how they remember the little details, how they don't play games with you, how you glow differently when you're with them. It's not always the grand gestures, it's the emotional safety you have that makes people feel exposed. It's the stability, the trust, the teamwork. Many people have never experienced that. Many people are stuck in half love, half loyalty, half effort situations. So when they see you fully chosen, fully valued, and fully appreciated, it triggers something deep. Some envy the way your partner treats you with respect, because they're used to disrespect. Some envy your loyalty, because they've never had anyone stay. Some envy your happiness, because theirs is built on temporary highs. Some envy the fact that you're loved without begging for it. There are people who secretly want what you have, but don't want to admit it. They pretend to be independent or unbothered, but deep down, they crave the same connection they see you enjoying. And instead of working on themselves or healing, they project their jealousy onto you. You'll notice it in subtle ways. Someone in a toxic relationship becomes weirdly quiet when you talk about your partner. A single friend starts giving you advice that pushes you away from your partner, not to help you, but because misery loves company. Someone begins mocking your relationship or saying all relationships end anyway because they've normalized heartbreak. Someone reacts with sarcasm when you tell a sweet story. Someone tries to plant doubts in your mind about your partner without any evidence. Some people don't want to see you loved correctly because it reminds them they're accepting less. And sometimes the envy is deeper. Some envy the way your partner chooses you daily. They envy the fact that someone sees your worth so clearly. They envy that you're loved in a way they don't believe they deserve. They envy that you didn't have to force or chase love. It came naturally, built on genuine connection. Your relationship represents something they haven't found: consistency, loyalty, effort, trust, and peace. But here's something important. People don't envy what they don't admire. They envy your relationship because it's beautiful, stable, rare, and real. What you have scares people who fear they'll never experience the same. And sometimes, the envy comes from those who wasted their own good relationships. They look at you and your partner and remember the times they pushed someone away, the times they didn't value who they had, the times they messed up something meaningful. Seeing you happy reminds them of what they lost or what they couldn't keep. At the end of the day, love is one of the purest forms of abundance. And when you have abundance in an area where others feel empty, envy naturally appears, even if the person never says a word. Let them envy. Let them misunderstand your happiness. Let them whisper or roll their eyes or pretend not to care. Your relationship is a blessing, and their envy is just proof that love, when it's real, is powerful enough to shake people who don't have it. 7. Some envy the life you're building. Some people envy you not because of where you are, but because of where you're going. You may not be living your dream life yet, but you're building it, piece by piece, day by day. And people can sense your direction. They can feel the momentum around you. They see the changes you're making, the choices you're prioritizing, the habits you're creating, and they know you're headed somewhere they secretly wish they could go. That alone is enough to spark envy. People don't just envy success. They envy potential. They envy the fact that your life is moving forward while theirs feels stuck on repeat. They envy your courage to grow, to evolve, to start over, to aim higher. They envy your willingness to leave behind old environments, old versions of yourself, and even old relationships that held you back. You might not realize it, but people are watching everything. The way you've stopped wasting time, the way you've started improving your mindset, the way you're making smarter decisions, the way you're focusing more on your future, the way you're slowly leveling up, without noise or drama. Even if the progress is small, it's there, and for some people, that's enough to make them feel uncomfortable. Simple decisions you make trigger envy in others. You say you're saving money for a goal, and they feel exposed because they spend carelessly. You say you're reading more, learning more, networking more, and they suddenly feel behind. You start building habits that they know they should have started years ago. You begin distancing yourself from negativity, and they feel like you're changing when really you're just growing. People envy the discipline behind the life you're creating. They envy your ability to stick to routines. They envy your focus on long-term goals. They envy that you're finally thinking about your future while they're still repeating their past. One of the strongest examples of this envy is when someone tries to downplay your progress. You might say something small like, "I'm working on a project," and they reply, "Everyone's working on something," just to diminish your effort. Or you share a small win, and they pretend it's nothing, not because it's small, but because it reminds them they haven't moved in months, maybe years. People envy you because they can see the version of you that you're becoming. Even before you see it fully, they see the confidence growing in you. They see the new energy around you. They see the way you're becoming more selective, more intentional, more serious about your life. And that threatens them because your growth makes their excuses louder. Some envy the life you're building because it means they can no longer control the narrative of who you used to be. They want you to stay predictable, familiar, comfortable, because your evolution challenges them to face their own lack of growth. When they see you planning, dreaming, saving, improving, healing, working, and investing in yourself, it forces them to confront the fact that they chose comfort over improvement. Sometimes the envy isn't loud, it's subtle. A forced smile when they hear your good news. A quiet shift in tone when they notice your progress. A sarcastic comment disguised as a joke. A sudden distance when they see you gaining confidence. Those are all signs that your future intimidates them more than your present. And here's the truth. People don't envy where you are. They envy where you're headed. They can already picture you living in a better home, with better opportunities, in a better environment, surrounded by better energy. They can already see you outgrowing them. They can see you leveling up to a version of yourself that no longer fits into the small space they kept you in. And instead of being inspired, some choose to become resentful. But you need to understand something important. The envy you attract now is a preview of the success you're building. The whispers, the side eyes, the sudden distance, the strange energy. They're not signs you're doing something wrong. They're signs you're evolving. The life you're building may not be perfect yet. You may still be learning, still struggling, still figuring things out. But the difference is that you're trying, you're growing, you're becoming. And that alone is enough to trigger envy in people who stopped believing in their own possibilities. So keep going, keep grinding, keep building the life you know you deserve. Because one day, the same people who doubted you, mocked you, or envied you will be forced to admit that they saw the greatness in you long before the world did. 8. Some envy your independence. Some people envy you because you move through life without needing constant validation, approval, or support from others. Your independence threatens them, not because you're trying to intimidate anyone, but because your ability to stand on your own exposes how much they rely on others just to feel stable. Independence is one of the rarest qualities today, and when people see you operating with confidence, self-direction, and emotional strength, it triggers something they don't want to admit. People envy the fact that you don't cling, you don't beg, you don't chase, you don't depend on anyone to define your worth. You know how to be alone without feeling lonely. You know how to make decisions without needing a crowd behind you. You know how to move forward even when nobody is cheering. That level of self-reliance shakes people who can't take a single step without approval. Think about how many people stay stuck because they can't do things alone. They can't leave a relationship, can't start something new, can't change their life, can't take a risk. Meanwhile, you take action, you build, you improve, you grow, often in silence, often without applause. That's what makes people envy you. Your independence shows up in small ways that others notice. You don't need someone to hype you up before you take a risk. You don't collapse when people stop supporting you. You don't need to be surrounded by a group to feel secure. You don't hide behind people to make decisions. You don't let loneliness push you into situations beneath your value. And these small things create big reactions. Some people feel uncomfortable seeing you stand so firmly on your own because it reminds them of the inner work they've avoided. It reminds them of the courage they don't have. It reminds them that they depend on others to feel complete, while you build yourself from the inside out. People envy your independence because it means you're not controlled. You're not easily manipulated. You don't bend to pressure. You don't let opinions dictate your direction. And that threatens people who gain their power by preying on the weak. When you're independent, you're unpredictable to them. They can't sway you, guilt trip you, or pull you into their drama. A lot of envy comes from people who wish they could break free the way you did. You stopped letting family guilt you. You stopped letting friends influence your decisions. You stopped giving energy to people who drain you. You learned to say no, and some people envy that because no is a word they're still terrified to use. Your independence also makes some people feel replaced or unnecessary. They want you to need them, to depend on them, to look up to them, but you don't. And that bruises their ego. When they notice that you're fine on your own, that you're not falling apart, that you're not waiting for rescue, they switch from supportive to resentful. You'll notice it in the way they react when you do things without them. You take a trip alone, and they say, "Why would you do that?" You make a big decision without asking for input, and they say, "You think you know everything." You start something by yourself, and they say, "Who do you think you are?" These comments aren't logical, they're emotional. They come from people who feel powerless in their own lives. And here's another truth. Independence isn't just financial, it's emotional. Some people envy the way you don't depend on others for happiness. They envy your peace. They envy that you don't need constant validation. They envy your ability to walk away from things that drain you. They envy your confidence in standing alone, even when it's uncomfortable. They envy the way you trust yourself. They envy your inner strength. They envy your self-respect. They envy the freedom you've built for yourself. Because the truth is, independence is freedom, and freedom is threatening to those who live trapped inside their own fears. Some people envy you because you're not afraid to start over. You're not afraid to lose people who don't treat you right. You're not afraid to reinvent yourself. You're not afraid to walk away from environments that suffocate your growth. You live on your own terms, and that scares people who still live according to expectations. But understand this, your independence is not an attack on anyone. It's a reflection of your strength. It's something you earned through experiences, failures, healing, and courage. And yes, some people will envy that, because independence exposes dependence. Strength exposes weakness. Freedom exposes fear. Let them envy. Let them misunderstand your self-sufficiency. Let them judge you for being strong enough to stand alone. Because the truth is, not everyone has the power to build a life where they are their own foundation. But you do, and that's why they envy you. 9. They envy your authenticity. Authenticity is rare. Most people spend their lives performing, smiling when they're not happy, saying what they think others want to hear, pretending to be someone they're not. But you refuse to pretend. You refuse to compromise your essence just to make someone else comfortable. You are unapologetically yourself in every moment, and that makes some people deeply uncomfortable, even envious. When you speak your truth, it doesn't just convey words, it conveys integrity, it conveys confidence, it conveys the rare kind of self-possession that some people only dream about. And when others encounter that, it reminds them of all the times they settled for a version of themselves that wasn't real, the times they played roles, swallowed opinions, or hid desires. Watching you live authentically exposes their own compromises, and envy grows in that shadow. People envy authenticity because it is fearless. Authenticity doesn't need external approval to validate itself. It doesn't measure worth by likes, comments, or nods from the crowd. You walk into a room and you're fully yourself, whether anyone notices or not. That is terrifying for people who rely on approval to feel worthy. They need the applause. You need only your own alignment. Your independence of identity is a silent threat to their fragile self-image. They envy your authenticity because it demands courage. It takes guts to say what you think, to do what you believe is right, and to show up every day without a mask. Courage is magnetic, and it also unsettles those who lack it. People who spend years learning to hide their insecurities feel uncomfortable around someone who has mastered the art of showing up as themselves. They feel exposed without even realizing why, because your authenticity highlights their inauthenticity. Your authenticity inspires, whether you intend it or not. People look at you and see someone unafraid to be different, unafraid to stand apart, unafraid to live life on their own terms. That inspiration is supposed to feel motivating, but for some it feels threatening. Instead of being encouraged to grow, they feel envy. They wonder why you are free to be yourself, while they remain trapped behind masks of social expectation and fear. People envy authenticity because it cannot be imitated. You can teach manners, etiquette, fashion, or vocabulary. You can try to copy someone's career moves or achievements. But authenticity, the unique alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, is impossible to duplicate. It is a blueprint of your soul, and that irreplaceable uniqueness fuels envy in those who wish they could claim it for themselves. They envy the way you attract trust, loyalty, and respect simply by being yourself. When you are authentic, people feel it. They feel your sincerity. They sense that your words and actions match, that you honor your values, that you show up as a whole person. That magnetic energy draws friends, allies, mentors, and opportunities toward you. Meanwhile, people who pretend, manipulate, or perform can't produce that same energy. They envy the effortless respect and admiration that authenticity brings. Some people envy your authenticity because it makes them feel small. It forces them to confront their own compromises. It challenges their insecurities. It shines a light on all the ways they've hidden, conformed, and limited themselves. And envy is born from comparison. When they measure their curated facade against your realness, they feel inadequate, even if they'll never admit it out loud. Your authenticity also gives you power, quiet, undeniable, and persistent. You can stand firm without aggression, you can lead without dominating, and you can influence without manipulating. People who rely on deception, manipulation, or false personas to get ahead feel threatened by that kind of power. They know you don't need tricks to get what you deserve, and that truth enrages them secretly. Finally, people envy authenticity because it's liberating. You move through life without the chains of pretense. You make decisions based on your own principles. You form connections based on genuine alignment, not convenience or obligation. That freedom is intoxicating, and it reminds others of all the invisible chains they've wrapped around themselves to survive social expectations. In the end, people envy authenticity because authenticity is freedom made visible. It cannot be bought, it cannot be faked, it cannot be copied, and anyone who has spent a lifetime performing or hiding will always feel envy when they encounter someone who has mastered the rare, beautiful art of simply being themselves. And they envy your talents. Some people envy you because of the gifts you were born with, your talents, skills, and natural abilities that seem effortless to you, but impossible for them. Talents aren't just what you can do, they're a reflection of who you are, the unique combination of mind, body, and soul that produces results others can't replicate. And people hate being reminded of what they lack, especially when it comes so naturally to someone else. Talent is visible. Talent is measurable. Talent is praised. And while you may see it as simply who you are, others see it as a comparison, a standard they feel they will never reach. Whether it's artistic ability, athletic skill, intelligence, leadership, problem-solving, or emotional intelligence. Your talents make people aware of their own limitations, their missed opportunities, and their unfulfilled potential. And that awareness breeds envy. Some envy your talent because it brings you recognition effortlessly. For example, you play music, sing, or create art, and people naturally admire it without you even trying to sell yourself. You solve problems in ways others can't, and people notice your ability to make things work that they can't fix. You write, speak, or communicate with clarity, and others are drawn to your voice while they struggle to be understood. All these things that come naturally to you are things they've worked at and still can't achieve. That contrast creates jealousy. Some envy your talent because it opens doors for you. Talent attracts opportunities that some people will never see because they lack the same skill or creativity. They watch you succeed in areas where they feel stuck. They see people trust you, listen to you, or seek your advice, and they wish it were them. They see you doing what they've dreamed of but can't, and that envy silently grows. Talent also exposes effort, discipline, and practice, even when it looks effortless. People don't see the hours you spent learning, rehearsing, improving, failing, and rising again. They only see the final product, and instead of appreciating your dedication, some will reduce your accomplishments to luck or natural talent, secretly wishing they had the same advantage. Some envy your talent because it allows you to stand out. You don't have to follow trends to be noticed. You don't need to compete for attention. Your ability speaks for itself. People envy the way you shine without trying. They envy how you can leave a mark on a project, a stage, or a room just by being yourself. And that highlights their struggle to be recognized or valued in the same way. Talent is also tied to self-confidence, whether you realize it or not. When you perform, create, or lead, you radiate a quiet authority because you trust your abilities. People who doubt themselves or whose talents are underdeveloped envy that confidence. They envy the ease with which you achieve things that feel impossible to them. Some envy your talent because it represents potential, the limitless possibilities of what you can achieve in life. They see you practicing, experimenting, creating, or leading, and they imagine the heights you can reach. That vision makes them uncomfortable because it reminds them of the dreams they've abandoned or the effort they refuse to give. Your growth, fueled by talent, becomes a reflection of their stagnation. Talent also attracts admiration, respect, and opportunities for influence. People envy not only what you can do, but how others respond to it. They see the doors opening for you: jobs, invitations, collaborations, praise, recognition, and they wonder why life hasn't given them the same results. They envy the way talent amplifies your life, elevates your social standing, and validates your presence in ways that feel effortless to you. Even the small, everyday examples show why people envy you. You make something look easy that took them years to attempt. You finish a task efficiently while they struggle. You have a natural way of leading, inspiring, or teaching that others can't replicate. You express yourself creatively, and others are drawn to your originality. Every demonstration of your ability is a reminder that some things come to you naturally, and that can sting those who feel talent has passed them by. And the deeper truth is this: people envy your talents because they're a reflection of your identity. Talent is personal, intimate, and unique. It's not something they can borrow, steal, or imitate fully. They can try to mimic your skills, but they can't replicate the essence of what makes you talented. The way your mind, your effort, your perspective, and your passion combine to create results only you can produce. Some envy your talent, not because it's superior, but because it represents something they've never dared to develop in themselves. It reminds them of all the ways they've held back. It reminds them of all the time they've wasted. It reminds them of the courage they didn't have to practice, create, or pursue excellence. And instead of learning from your example, some will envy it silently, hoping it never overshadows them. But here's the final truth: talent is a gift, and it's meant to be used, shared, and celebrated. Those who envy it are simply people who fear or underestimate themselves. Your abilities are proof of what's possible when effort meets opportunity, passion meets practice, and courage meets purpose. And the envy you feel from others, it's only proof that you are exceptional. And that's the truth. Envy isn't always obvious. It doesn't always show up in words or actions. Sometimes it lingers silently in the eyes of people who see your growth, your ambition, your independence, and your strength. They envy what you've built, who you've become, and the direction you're headed, even if they would never admit it. But here's what you need to remember. Their envy is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their insecurities. Every glance, every comment, every side eye is proof that you are moving, evolving, and becoming someone they cannot ignore. So keep being authentic. Keep growing. Keep loving deeply. Keep building your life, pursuing your dreams, and walking boldly in your truth. Their envy doesn't diminish your light. It proves that your light is bright enough to be seen. Let them envy. Let them whisper. Let them doubt. None of it changes who you are or where you're going. Because the truth is simple. The people who envy you can never touch your journey, and they can never stop your rise. Keep moving. Keep shining. Keep becoming unstoppable.